Mm-hmm.
On top of that school fees, there can just be a small additional amount, because doing that, it's like you are saving your children's future
True.
without putting a lot of thought into it. So on top of the school fees, it might be a bit difficult, the school fees, but still having that, it's like your kid doesn't have to finish Form 4 and now they have to start thinking. If they have a business idea, they don't have capital. You see, you can be able to progressively do that for your kids.
True.
And because it is the school requirement, it becomes easy for the parents to do that for their kids.
Yeah, I think the only challenge might be management of those funds.
Now,
That's the biggest challenge we normally have back home. But at least making it compulsory, or even when during these parents teachers meetings, the school maybe takes the responsibility to bring maybe an expert in that kind of investment and allow parents to sign up their kids directly through the expert, even maybe.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Balance It podcast. Balance It is a platform that empowers young men and women to live a purposeful life.
We delve into conversations relating to purpose-driven living, fitness, entrepreneurship, and abroad experiences. I'm Gertrude Nasike.
And I am Eda Onyoni. And in today's episode, we are going to have a conversation that is very deep for us. And also, I'm sure you both can also relate, because these are things that we are not taught in school about personal financing.
Yes.
And I am going to begin with my first one that I know that I wish that we could have been taught in school, is things like investments and the power of compounding when it comes to investments. Because there was this notion that you must have this a lot amount of money for you to actually invest. But actually, if we could have, okay, we were not even told, first of all, but if we could have somebody to tell us that you need to start with wherever that you are, you need to start with your 100, 1,000 Kenya shillings, you need to start with whatever that you have, and slowly put it in a place where that it can be able to compound, it can be able to grow, and the babies of that, which is the interest, can be able to continuously compound and actually get more money when you are putting in small amounts. I wish we could have been told that, because I know for sure for me, I was not like I was waiting, but I wanted to get to a point where I can be able to put a lot of money somewhere. That is when I started. But either way, with time we got to understand the power of compounding. And compounding here, we mean that you put your money somewhere, let's say in an investment platform that gives you interest, and that interest also is added onto your principal amount, and now the principal amount plus the interest actually continuously starts getting more interest, and that is why it is now compounding, compared to simple interest, whereby you find that it is just the principal amount getting the interest. But now here in compounding, it is the principal amount plus the interest amount that is getting the interest. So I wish we could have been told this, and also just the power of starting small. That let's not despise where we are at. That even with your 100 shillings daily, or 2 weeks, you can still be able to grow somewhere. Because I remember there was this 52-day challenge in Kenya,
True.
which you could start with small money and continuously add increase more. That was like a way of, it's not really compounding interest, but it is a good way to package it, whereby start small, start with whatever you have today, and just start.
That's really well put. And just to add on what you said, I would have really appreciated if they would make it very practical. You can find they might even teach just theoretical aspects, but try and make it very practical. Even in the lessons, try and tell the students like this and this and this is what's available there. Because I remember, I think in business studies, sometimes we had topic about investments or something, but they will just mention we have these types of investments. They just mention, but they don't go deep into it, or even you're not getting the possibility of finding people to explain to you how to even get into those investments, how to start investing, because the textbook or the syllabus just gives you a list and then you go figure out there. But no, I think it should be very deep and very practical, because that's where we can start building our skills when we are very young. It's much easier.
I'm just thinking, actually, if they could even have, I wish this can actually be implemented, if they have like those platforms where now, since they have taught us, let's say, about, for example, money market. Right now everybody's talking about money market.
It is the song.
Once they have taught us that, they can just implement it in a way that they, maybe schools have these partnerships with different brokerage firms, and those firms actually, for the students, they are able to put their money the same way parents are paying school fees. On top of that school fees, there can just be a small additional amount, because doing that, it's like you are saving your children's future without putting a lot of thoughts into it. So on top of the school fees, it might be a bit difficult, the school fees, but still, having that, it's like your kid doesn't have to finish Form 4 and now they have to start thinking, if they have a business idea, they don't have capital. You see, you can be able to progressively do that for your kids.
True.
And because it is the school requirement, it becomes easy for the parents to do that for their kids.
I think the only challenge might be management of those funds. Now that's the biggest challenge we normally have back home. But at least making it compulsory, or even when during these parents teachers meetings, the school maybe takes the responsibility to bring maybe an expert in that kind of investment and allow parents to sign up their kids directly through the expert, even maybe if it's not through the school, might just be good. The basic thing we're saying here, let the practicability of it be at home, because that's the only way things are going to be better.
And also there is the aspect of accountability, because if maybe, let's say, if I could have done that, let's say if my parent could have done that for me at that younger age, and I'm told that I'm the one who is taking care of this money, and I have been taught, first of all, it's the education that is coming in first, and then the practicability, where I'm now told that by next month you should be at this point. So I know that I am accountable, and with that being instilled in me, with time I will get to know how to manage my finances, even just aside from the money that you could have put there. So slowly, it's not just about even the financial bit of it, but also the maturity that comes with financial management.
That's very true. Wow. Another thing I would like to say is they should also teach more about debt management. Right now, there's so many people getting into debt, especially I would just take an example like this. There's the aviator thing. It's
Ndege. Kandege.
I wouldn't say that is a story for another day. But there's this aviator thing. In the recent weeks, like there's been so much outcry from a lot of people losing money. It's more of a betting or a gambling kind of investment, but it's just a gambling or betting site or something. So you find people are losing money there, but you find from the stories you're hearing from, most people are actually taking debts and putting this money into gambling and these other areas that are not bringing you an assured amount of money. Because if it's gambling, it's 100% chance you might lose, 100% chance you might get something better, and it's also addictive. So I feel like if we can be taught about debt management from school, it can really help with such things, honestly. Because maybe you might be told, if you're taking debt, try and take debt not for consumption, or try and take debt that is specifically for investment, money that is going to bring you more money, but in a different way. And then you would find, if you're taught about debt management in school and a practical way of managing your debt, most people are not will be in a position to understand the importance of debt as a tool to propel you forward, but rather and not as just money that you've gotten and then now you're spending all over. Yeah, I feel like it's a very important lesson that we need to learn in school. Also, in things like this, the credit cards, we need to understand, because I know for Kenya, we don't have the card, let's say the card, how could I put it?
Overdraft?
No, the card behavior, like using cards everywhere, like for payments, for I don't know what, for what, because M-Pesa works perfectly all round. But I'm thinking in areas where you find that the card culture is there, you find that someone can get a credit card and just someone keeps getting stuff, and then later on you're billed because of a different, like a very high amount. I think these are things that we really need to learn in school to help us understand how you can approach debt. Yes.
And how to utilize it,
And
so
how
that
to
it is easy for you to even repay it.
Yes. Because now the stress comes with repaying. Honestly, it was a very sad story. There's a lady who took money for the
School fees.
no, there's another one who took school fees in the UK, about I don't know, 2 million,
What?
and gambled with it, and it went all of it. This lady is from Avieta. I think she took the Chama money, the small group money,
God.
and vested with the whole money. And she's 8 months pregnant. She's now locked. She's convicted, I think, and charged for 3 years. Honestly. And she gambled with that money and it went. The Chama people took her to court. It's a sad story, because you can imagine, this is not your money, but why are you just have the need to use it, that's already debt in its own. So repaying it, I'm so sure if she was in a position to pay the 200,000, they wouldn't take such actions. But maybe she wasn't in a position, and she wouldn't be in a position to really come up with a way to settle them. Then they had to take the actions they did.
Oh my. Yeah,
Imagine.
it's so sad.
It's sad.
So sad. And now you see the consequences that
Exactly.
you have to repay. You have to just face all those consequences, which are sad. You can imagine being 8 months pregnant and that happens.
Sad.
It's sad. But yeah, the other thing that I wish we could have been taught about in school, which I commend my university for doing that for us. But I think it would be good if we could have been taught it earlier, is things like negotiation skills. I was telling you some of the negotiation skills, like maybe purchasing things from somewhere. Something you learned from your parents. You go to shopping with your mom and you see how they negotiate
for the best price.
For the best price, and it's actually always the best.
Is it?
I think our parents learned that negotiation skill.
But I also think it's because of the culture back home of business people. They won't tell you the right price. They will hike the price, because there's the culture of negotiation and bargaining. So they know when you come, now you will negotiate to know the right price, or they'll still sell it above the price.
Yeah,
so
for sure. But the time you're agreeing, you're coming to a settlement. Maybe they're even still
higher, and you're like,
profits. Yeah.
You wonder, that this trouser is 2,000. You can't take 1,000. Like literally, that's half. No, that's very low. But at the end of the day, they will sell it at 1,400.
Yeah, and it's a win-win situation for
It's a,
both.
that's
But
very
yeah,
true.
things like negotiation in terms of prices, and also things like salaries.
Mm-hmm.
These are things that we are not taught about in school. And
True.
you get into the job market, and that is when you're starting to figure out, first of all, how to negotiate before you get the job itself, or even you might lose not getting the job because you didn't have very good negotiation skills.
Yeah.
And there are some schools that actually do that, and I commend my school as well for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are schools that I know for sure don't get those kind of learnings. Or if we could have been taught, let's say in uh, in campus or even in high school,
Yeah.
they would be really good, because negotiation is a skill, and everywhere you go, when you communicate with somebody, it's a negotiation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
either they
true.
like you or not, or
Yeah.
it's always a negotiation. It's a life skill. So I think those skills are some of the things that we could have been
Yeah.
taught back earlier.
Wow. I think another thing was the importance of emergency fund. Most of the people, like, we get into situations and you don't have a backup fund available. Then you start digging into your pockets or digging into money that you had not planned for that specific thing. And it's because growing up, it's a culture that maybe you've not learned. And I think teaching people in school, and I believe when you teach people such things when they're still young, they take it to heart more as compared to teaching them right now. Unless right now this person uh, intentionally wants to change their personal finance. But if not, it's going to be hard. So at least trying to understand why emergency funds are important, and even if it's not just saving or just putting aside, like, why do you need some amount of money aside for the rainy days? I think it's an important skill that, or important information that we should have been taught in school. Yes.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of which, I feel like there are some things that just our own parents should
Yeah.
have taught us, or maybe they have taught us in different ways.
Yeah.
That such that, because charity always begins at home,
Yeah,
and
true.
something that your parent taught you always sticks with you. I
Exactly.
remember the other day when you were saying the story about your dad telling you to walk around because it is easy to
Learn the
learn.
place.
Yes. And I, because it is your dad who told you that, and for me it has stuck in my mind as if it is my dad.
Yeah.
You see? So
Yeah.
something that our parents teach us, sometimes they just stick so
Yeah,
much in our
true.
mind. So, and I think as parents, we can like teach these kids, our kids at an early age, such that when they go to school, it's just an addition on top
True.
of whatever that you have taught them.
That's
Yeah.
very
And
true.
something else that I would wish that we could have been taught in school,
Yeah.
is taxes.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a conversation that I think I don't know if at campus level was the best time to actually be taught about taxes. And I try to understand sometimes, because maybe you start paying taxes, especially in Kenya, after you finished campus. So maybe
Yeah.
campus is like the best time to teach us about taxes. But at the same time, mentioning these things here and there, it's like marinating our minds with those conversations, such that when we get to campus, we are now talking about the real taxes.
Yeah.
Everything now makes sense. So I think it should be taught earlier in advance, before we actually now start paying taxes or something like that. Yeah. So I think taxes is something that we are not taught. And aside from taxes, like how to spend, how to not really avoid tax. We should pay taxes, but
Yeah.
because I remember there was avoiding and something else. They were
Yeah.
quite similar, but not avoid, like very good tax strategies that
Yeah.
we can be able to do, so that we can be able to maintain our taxes well, such that we are also not just paying to the government, and there are ways that we can mitigate
Yeah.
paying a lot of taxes to the government just for our livelihood as well. So I think we could have been taught taxes, and also just how to file returns.
Exactly.
You find that even after campus, somebody does not know how to file
you have
nil
you
returns.
have to pay.
you have to pay somebody in the
in the
cyber to
cyber,
do
and
it
then
for
this
you.
person just does something in like 3 minutes.
Especially nil returns. You
Yeah.
just go and click somewhere and it
Nil.
is and he will be there hovering his mic, clicking, so that you stay there for around 10 minutes so that you get to pay them. But
Hey,
if we were taught these things,
it's good.
we could be saving a lot of money.
You know, like every time before June, I just normally I should even tell my sister. I just normally text her, please file for me nil returns. I'm in the bandwagon. But the first time I filed nil returns, my brother taught me. And then now later on, my sister helps me file them as she files for the people at her workplace, because she at least deals with such like. So I'm like, oh, I'm just also among them. You just send me the login details.
And you're
Yeah.
done. But right now, everything is on YouTube. You can
Yeah,
just
true.
go. Even me,
Yeah,
sometimes, despite being in accounting, sometimes I forget some of the steps and I have to go
to go
back to
back.
YouTube. And mostly YouTube
Mm,
always has those direct steps, and you
mm,
can just do them as long as you're not paying somebody else to
yeah,
do for you
true.
something. If it's your sister, it's okay.
It
They're
is
not
free.
charging you, it's free.
But it's also a bad manners, because now you know it's also inconveniencing her.
Yeah.
Because I'll now keep being on her toes, like,
And it's just nil returns.
yeah, it's nail returns, because there I don't have employment here there, but here I used to pay tax.
And you keep on nagging somebody for a whole week, and
Yeah.
you could have done it by yourself in 5 minutes.
But anyway, I will
But
do
yeah.
better. I will do better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last point for me, I would say
Mhm.
budgeting techniques. I feel like this was, at least most of the time, you find parents teach us about this, but in school, these things should be more practicable. You know,
Yes.
sometimes they may just mention, oh, you need to budget, but you're telling this kid you need to budget. What is that?
What is budgeting?
What is a practical way for them? This kid maybe has 50 shillings. How are they going to practically budget for
Mm.
that? Even if they're buying only mandazi, 5 shillings a day, how are they going to practically do this thing? You
Mm.
know, I think the practicability aspect is what's missing a lot
Yeah.
in what we are taught in school, but you'd find some of these concepts are taught, but it looks like a far-fetched concept because
Mm.
it's just theory. So putting it in terms of a more practical way, show them, okay, you have this 50 shillings. If you have this and this and these expenses in a day, you can set aside this amount and use this and this and this per week,
Mm.
which is a very good and better way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say just increasing the practicability aspect of these concepts to make it easier for the learner to understand.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think the practicability is what misses in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because even my last one was the psychology of spending, and it's like,
Mm,
if I'm supposed to be spending,
mm,
how much am I supposed to be spending, let's say on rent?
mm,
How much am I supposed to be spending on groceries
mm,
if I'm being paid
yeah.
this amount of money?
Mm,
Because once you are given, it's like you're given a framework. This is
yeah.
how you're supposed to do it. And then now, once you have that framework, it's easy to now either do it your way or
Mm-hmm.
find a way to just maneuver around that
Yeah,
framework and find what works for you. But if
that's
you're
true.
starting from somewhere that we don't know,
Mm,
so it becomes hard to actually
mm,
get to a point where we actually get to know.
yeah,
And
that's
once we
very
know,
true.
it is too late for us to actually
Yeah.
change our mistakes that we
Mm,
already did. But I think we are doing better by just spreading this information
yeah.
out there.
And I think it's a good way to end the show.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
I think just a take home is that let's try and increase the practicability of these concepts
Mm,
so as to enable kids, or we people, to just grow up with this kind of mindsets,
mm,
but not just growing up with this kind of mindsets alone, but knowing that it's actually possible.
mhm,
Because honestly, you would find maybe you're in campus, you're supposed to be investing in something, but you don't know what that
No,
is,
and you
and
have the
if and
money.
you have maybe the money, and if you don't meet maybe the right friends or the right networks that can help you, tell you, oh, there's this MMF, or there's this stocks and stuff, or you can do this with this small amount of money as you build it, you will never like try and improve. You might find that money might just be used for now spending,
Yeah.
and that was not the ultimate goal. So I think
Yeah.
it's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah. And I think since we are here, anyway, we are
Mhm.
already adults. Even
Yeah.
if they didn't teach us that in school,
Yeah.
since we are here, it's just
Mhm.
being okay with the fact that we need to learn
Yeah.
wherever that we are,
True.
and so that we can action,
Mhm.
so that the conversation will not be the same for
Yeah.
our kids
Yeah. Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
That
True.
my mom didn't teach me, so
Mhm.
I don't know, or I was not taught in school. There
Mhm.
is no
Mhm.
that excuse.
Yeah.
Right now, we have information everywhere on
Mhm.
YouTube, online.
Yeah,
We have
that's
Chat
true.
GPT. You can ask
Gemini.
Gemini. There are so many
Mhm.
AI tools that you can ask, even if you are starting small. It's just like
True.
asking, I have 500 shillings. What can I do with this
Mhm.
money? I have, asking those valid questions, and
Yeah.
also just
Mhm.
finding yourself in, putting yourself in spaces where you actually get to learn
True.
from people around you and people who have done better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And make sure you also share with us like what you think can be incorporated in maybe school syllabuses, and
Mm-hmm.
what you think can be things about personal finance which should be taught in schools, and just so as to ensure that we're actually having a community growing up with the discipline of personal finance.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and also comment down below what your takes are on this conversation. And let's continue empower each other to thrive.
And until next time,
Bye bye.
bye.